So what we've done here is we've pulled out the wiring harness from this particular vehicle that we're working on. There were a number of electrical issues that were manifesting themselves in a sense that accessories wouldn't work, and then as you start to dig into the wiring harness, you notice a lot of corrosion, some melting. And what we've done is we just pulled it all apart. Obviously we taped it, but we've gone and exposed all the wires down to this point, which allows us to then inspect the sheathing in the wire itself, I guess. Most Land Cruisers, don't need new wiring harnesses. People are, really mistaken when they say I need a new wiring harness. The wiring harness is typically in fine shape. It's just that at the peripheries, at the very edges, out where it goes out near the headlights or areas where people hack into it, up near maybe the fuse panel, where people hack into it, is where the issues are. So what did you find, Mo, when you were looking at it?
This particular harness, a little further into here, we had this white wire with the green stripe that goes to the alternator, and a yellow stripe with a black wire melted together like that, just barely touching. So I separated it, replaced the wire, and taped it back over again.
So that was our main culprit, part of the alternator issue. And you also had a wiper motor issue.
Yeah.
I mean, you probably found that at some point, somewhere.
They cut the end off of the alternator here, which needs to be replaced, and these ends are burning up.
Oh. That right there is for the, this is the cluster up near the speedometer and whatnot. That's the big culprit right there. That's a bad one. That's all corroded.
It looks like they had left the terminal loose, and what happened is it gets hot from being moved around.
This goes to the amp meter, and it runs a lot of amperage through this particular heavy wire, and when it can't handle it and it gets corroded up and there's resistance, this is what happens. And the ultimate thing that can happen is it'll catch on fire. If it doesn't allow it to pass through, it'll heat up and or look for a ground and melt something else. So that's what we're seeing here, and we've gone through and rebuilt
I've also had to remove pieces hacked in like this that don't belong there without a fusible link.
Oh, I see that.
Which is another problem.
Yep.
This is the main feed of the harness. This is what they had on there, non-fusible right to the battery.
Okay, and it is important to have fusible link for the point that if there is a grounding issue, it'll just literally melt the wire and kill the contact, or that you're not going to melt the wiring harness. This is completely wrong because this is non-fusible link. It's really heavy gauge wire that makes a direct feed, and that safety component or a safety wire is not there. So we'll get rid of that. You can see how it's spliced in. When we do all of our wiring, we don't use butting connectors. We are using soldering, heat shrinking with a heat shrink tube around it, and then retaping it. I know it may seem like minutia, but this is the highest quality 30M tape you can buy. It stretches well, it adheres well, and it contours itself right to the wiring harness after, and it looks factory. If anything, it's better than factory. So we're moving forward with the wiring of this.